Hello, boys and girls. Greg from the Scary Spirits Podcast, here to make you another cocktail. This week's cocktail is the Mummies Night Out. And as always, is the featured cocktail in today's episode. First of all, we're going to rim a cocktail glass with purple sanding sugar or decorator sugar crystals. I use sugar. Then we're going to fill our shaker with ice. To that, we're going to add orange flavored liqueur. 1 tablespoon or 1/2 an ounce. Next, white chocolate flavored liqueur. 1 ounce. One ounce. Recipe calls for vanilla vodka. Another ounce. I have cake vodka. Same difference. And then finally, 1/2 an ounce Irish cream liqueur. I'm using Bailey's, but you do you. A little more than 1/2 an ounce, but it'll be fine, I'm sure. Then we shake. Then we strain it into our martini glass. The recipe does say you can add orange food coloring if you like, but no, why would you want to do that? Pretty good. Orange and chocolate and cake or vanilla. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the podcast. See ya.
Living forever sounds great until you have to live forever. Greg thinks he would be just fine with it. I, on the other hand, would probably share the fate of Adam in this week's movie on the Scary Spirits Podcast, Hammer's Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, and give up after a couple thousand years. I'm sure it has its ups. Think of all you could learn. And its downs. All the people you love would pass on. But would the balance be worth it? You'll probably never have to know. Unless, of course, you murder your father's favorite child. Yeah, you definitely shouldn't do that. Cheers.
Welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and/or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So, if you're ready, let's go.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Greg,
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen.
and welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast, the podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits.
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed. How are you, Karen?
Not as good as you. Is this not a special week for you?
Not yet, Karen.
Isn't this next week?
Yeah, but the
It's
day has
the
not happened yet.
Well, it's the anticipation, Greg. It's the
Ah, yes.
anticipation.
The anticipation.
Yes. Well, you must be feeling festive, are you?
I'm feeling fortunate, Karen,
There you go. That's a good word.
because
That's good.
apparently we both have been very good boys and girls because Krampus did not take us.
We're
Because
still here. I wonder if we lost like half our listeners.
I feel sorry for those 5 people.
I'm thinking about 50%. Might have heard Krampus on their doorstep.
I don't know. I
Mm,
think you misunderestimate our audience.
misunderstand them.
Yes.
They're just doing their jobs out there. It's not their fault. You know,
Trying to make a living,
that's what
doing the
Krampus
best you
does.
can.
Krampus is just doing his job. It's not
Yeah,
his fault.
just like Satan,
Yeah.
just doing his job.
Wow, this took a turn. Okay.
Hey,
I'm
happy
feeling
holidays, boys and
festive. How about
girls.
you, Greg?
All right. Was this film my choice, Karen?
It was. Do you want to tell everyone what you picked?
The film I have picked is a Hammer production from 1964. Do you remember 1964, Karen?
I do not.
I do not either. I was not alive.
Neither was I.
A film called The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb.
Is there a reason you picked this, or is it just the hammer thing?
Well, originally it was just because it's a Hammer thing, and a lot of mummy films come out in December for whatever reason. But apparently, Karen, the main character, Terrence Morgan, was born on December 8th.
Look at you squeezing that in.
Look at
It's
that.
just,
I think in 1921. Let me verify.
you knew that all along.
Yeah,
You
December
know,
8th, 1921.
there you go.
So happy birthday, Terrence. Terrence Morgan. And that's
You
his
ra you
real name.
rascal, you.
Actually, his full name is Terrence Ivor or Ivor. Looks like Igor, but with a V. Grant Morgan.
Wow, it's a good name.
It is a good name. I can see why he didn't change it. So there you go.
Do you have a drink to go
I,
with it?
I do, Karen.
You know, after watching it, you had, well, when was
I
this?
wish I would have watched it first because I would
Right.
have had a different drink.
Well,
I had several to choose from, actually.
right, but with any of these drinks, what year did this come out? Did you say
1964,
64?
way before we were born, Karen.
Any film in that era that's a horror film, we could pick brandy.
I could have picked a brandy drink.
Just
Absolutely.
brandy, just straight up brandy. Just like we're going with brandy.
Straight
We're
brandy.
We're just going to get the big sniffer glass and we're going to do it because every one of these films has brandy in it. And it also had one of your favorites in it.
I know.
I was like, oh,
I'm glad you caught it.
when I saw that, I was like, oh,
It went by pretty quickly,
yeah.
but yeah, you got it. So thank you, Karen.
Well, we should just spill the beans. They have hot toddies, and Greg likes a hot toddy. Even if he has a little sniffle,
Yeah.
he needs a hot toddy.
Yeah, my nose is a little runny, Karen. I might need to.
I feel an
Medicate.
itch coming on. We need a hot toddy. Anyway, you didn't pick either one of
I
those.
did not pick either one of those.
What'd you pick?
The drink I have chosen is called Mummy's Night Out.
Still appropriate. Still
Yeah,
a good
but
one.
I feel worthless now.
It's a delicious drink. You shouldn't
It
feel
is
worthless.
delicious. So we're going to need 2 tablespoons of orange flavored liqueur, 1 ounce. I'm just going to tell you the ounces. There ain't nobody got time to measure tablespoons. We're going to need purple sanding sugar or decorator sugar crystals.
If you
I
fancy.
assume that just meant regular sugar.
Colored sugar, yeah.
Ice, 1 ounce white chocolate flavored liqueur. I used Godiva. 1 ounce vanilla vodka.
I did not have vanilla vodka, but I had cake vodka, and it's the same shit.
Yeah.
A half an ounce Irish cream liqueur. I used Bailey's.
You know what I have, which I don't have regular Baileys. I think I bought the wrong thing one time, but it's salted caramel Baileys. It,
That is the one I am out of, Karen. No,
oh,
we
well,
had
this one.
that
Oh,
cocktail,
we had that. Well,
and
it
I
works
drank
in here.
all my salted caramel Bailey's because I had a lot of those cocktails. I wanted to have one last night, but I just had a regular White Russian, Karen.
Oh,
So anyway, and orange food color if desired. I don't know why. I guess you mentioned last week it's Halloween, purple and orange, right? Or
yeah.
something. I don't know. I don't think it needs the orange food coloring at all,
No.
personally. So step one, we're going to pour 1 tablespoon of the orange liqueur or half an ounce into a saucer or small plate. Onto another saucer or small plate, we're going to sprinkle the standing sugar. Then we're going to dip the rim of 2 martini glasses. This is a 2 cocktail drink?
Apparently it is, but
I
you,
missed that. So we're going to dip the rim of 2 martini glasses into the liqueur and into sugar to coat lightly. That's not right, Karen. This is not a 2 cocktail drink using the measurements they have here.
well, it can be. It can be anything
No,
they
it's
say, but if you
that's
want to
not
go
nearly
for
enough
it,
to fill a cocktail glass.
well, you could just double fist it.
It's
Have
not.
one in one hand, one in the other, and go for it.
That's true. Step two, fill cocktail shaker with ice. 2 shaker, add remaining tablespoon or half ounce of orange liqueur and all remaining ingredients. So we got 1, 2, 3 ounces of liquid, Karen. That is not that
A
does
full
not
martini.
a martini glass fill.
Well, but normally you don't fill a martini glass to the edge.
What?
So, I think it's probably about right.
All right, Karen, you do you. So then we're going to cover, which is important, and shake.
Good
Then we're
thing they
going,
put that in there.
yeah. Then we're going to strain into martini glasses, plural.
It's just crazy
I
talk.
think, and this is from Betty Crocker, Karen. She's a nut.
She wants you to make it through the evening. I think Betty's just looking out for you, Greg.
All
That's
right.
my theory.
Should we give our friends and listeners time to make their own mummies night out?
Let's do that.
Hold on. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Karen, might you have a brief synopsis of this film for us?
I do.
Well, go on. Tell us all the story.
Greedy American Alexander King makes an excursion to Egypt where he hopes that archaeologist Sir Giles Dalrymple, what is with Hammer in these names? It drives me crazy. I can never say them. And young assistant John Bray can help him unearth ancient treasures. But they eventually run into Adam Beauchamp, an accursed man with a long family history of hauntings. Adam's mere presence is enough to awaken mummy Ra Antif, putting the entire expedition in grave danger.
Thank you, Karen. We are a match. All right, Karen. Tell us everything you really enjoyed or were pleasantly surprised by in this film.
Well, will say I did not see the twist coming, but
Okay.
we'll have more on that in a little bit. There's some cool shots in it. There's some groovy, artsy shots in it that I kind of liked. A good 3 or 4 of them. It's a mummy story with the, leaning heavily on the curse of opening the tomb. I think it's kind of funny. I won't say I liked it, but it's very kind of stereotypical of each, like the greedy American. You can tell it's a British film. They look the best in it versus the Egyptians and the American.
Yeah, there's the victims, Karen.
There's a nice part for a female in it. Not sure I liked the part, but she didn't just have to be rescued. She was an assistant, but then they downplay her intelligence a lot. So, but That's all I really have. I don't really have a lot written for what I liked. What about you? What do you got?
So the very first thing I wrote was nice shots. Well, I wrote nice shot, but there were more.
There's like three or four, I think.
I probably noted two, but there are probably more and I probably didn't note them. It's a Hammer film. It's got all the stuff, Karen.
Do you think the sets were that good this
I
time?
thought the sets were good. Yeah. They're
Really?
Hammer films. It's Hammer.
It's a Hammer film, sure, but I thought some of it looked like when they're opening the doors to the tomb and stuff.
Okay, so
It looks
that
like
is
a
the
metal
only thing. That
cabinet.
is the only thing. Other than that, it has all the sets, all the costumes, and all the props, Karen. The props are very well done in
The
this.
props are well done. I will give you that, definitely.
But those doors, I noted them every time we saw them.
It looks like those old metal doors my mom had for like
Yes,
storage. I don't- Anyway, sorry, I interrupted. Go
but
on.
we're talking about things we liked.
True.
And I wrote the effects were good too, for the most part. I thought.
Yeah, I'd say it. I didn't have a problem with the effects.
And you mentioned the twist. Of course, I knew all about the twist going into it because of all the extensive research I do, Karen,
Do you
on
think
these
you would have
films.
known it? You wouldn't have known it if you hadn't done the
Probably not.
research.
No, I
No.
wouldn't have. No, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good twist. But that's all I have. Another Hammer thing is the acting. The acting is good. I'm not crazy about Annette, but other than her, I think the acting's pretty good.
She was okay.
As we always say, it could have been the way she was written. All right. Anything you did not care for, Karen? Anything that really grinded your gears?
Not a lot grinds my gears anymore. Speaking of the twist, I thought it was kind of a cool twist, and I wish they would have spent more time on it. I wish we would have known earlier in the film what his role was so we could get more history behind it. Like, I think it would have been a better movie if we were more involved before that twist because this movie, I think, drags. I think it might be one of my least favorite Hammer films. It takes forever. And then in the last 12 minutes, everything happens and it's all exciting. And it's like, well, if this was the tone through other parts of the film, it would have been so much better. The mummy doesn't even show up until almost an hour in. Like, really, where he starts his.
No, it can't. I'm going to argue that, Karen, because the movie is only like an hour and 17 minutes. He's
But
in it more than that.
no, he
I
does
was
not.
kind of surprised how early he was, actually. But
We
maybe I've
see
become
him, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't push the first. He doesn't kill the first
true.
guy
Yeah,
until
yeah,
an
yeah.
hour
You
in.
are right there. But we see him in the sarcophagus. And I
Yeah,
was
but
impressed with that. I'm like, wow, okay, that's pretty early, but go on.
but he doesn't do anything there. He's
He
just on
doesn't. No, you're right.
display.
Yep.
I just felt it dragged. I thought they spent way too much time on the love triangle, and I couldn't figure out if Annette was just playing them both against each other or just couldn't read the room or wasn't as smart as they made her out. Her character was very confusing. You know, she couldn't seem to stick to one plan. I don't know how else to say it. But she was a character that wasn't likable, especially from a female perspective. Looking back now on it, I don't know at the time if she would have been a likable character, but for me, she was not at all. That's my kind of gig with the whole thing is I didn't really like any of the characters very much. They were all kind of arrogant and mistreating of people. I don't know. I like the other mummy movies where he comes back, he sees the girl, thinks it's his wife. There's a reason for their destruction. This just seems, I don't know. And then the ending I thought was kind of funny, actually, because not to spoil it for everyone, but I'm going to. The mummy ends up in like a big pile of rocks or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, they just, these are archaeologists. They just dug out your entire tomb. You don't think they're going to dig him up? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to. So I guess there's sequel potential because it was just kind of funny, like, ooh, the end, he's buried in the rocks. And I'm like, but that's what they do. They dig him out. That's their job. And there's bad blood, but not a lot of it. I should say, I thought the mummy looked pretty good. He didn't do the draggy kind of walk or anything. He just kind of walked, you know, but he was pretty good. The costume.
I think that was when I said all the hammer things,
Yeah.
costumes,
But I mean
sets.
him especially, like it was pretty good. I didn't think he really embodied a person who hasn't walked in 3,000 years, but
I
and
think it was pretty good, but I noticed there was like a section over his heart, which was very square and
that's probably where they put the
um,
water in so he could drink.
geometrical.
Yes. Symmetrical, maybe, or
Symmetrical, yes.
yeah.
Very square and symmetrical. So I think this was reused from another Mummy
Oh,
film because I'm pretty sure there was something about his heart in one
right.
of them.
That they took out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. There also was something I should have said that I liked, just thinking of it now. When the mummy first shows up, they do this breathing sound. I liked that. Before they put the dramatic music in.
Yeah. I
It's
didn't make a note of it until the second kill, but yeah, I noticed it.
I liked it. Like it was almost like a precursor. You knew he was there. Like, the Friday the 13th sound or the
It's Darth
Jaws.
Vader.
It's not that memorable, but it is something that I thought was well done. What do you got? What did you not like?
Oh, what did I not like? So the first thing I wrote is the female character. She was, and you mentioned the whole love triangle thing, but her character was a missed opportunity. You know what I mean? I mean, she proved herself in the film, we're led to believe, to be an Egyptologist, just like her father, even though she may not have the degrees and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So there are some historical errors I wrote,
Okay.
because it's a movie and it's supposed to take place in 1900. Well, I guess the first scene is in 1900.
But it stays pretty much around that time.
All right. The hammer blood, it's got all the hammer stuff, it's got all the good stuff, and it's got the hammer blood. And I wrote the story I wasn't crazy about just in general. You kind of alluded to it. I made a note here. If this were made while you were talking, if this were made today, it would have been a lot longer, even though you said it dragged, because they probably would have talked more about the immortal brother and a little bit of his history,
Yeah. I think it would have been a better movie if they
like a
had done that.
Highlander film, if you're familiar with those boys and girls.
Well, I'm not. So is
No,
that time
that's
travel?
fine. No, he's
No.
immortal.
Oh, he's immortal. Okay, I see. Obviously, I don't know. I'm just saying, though, it was
Except if he gets his head cut off. That's the only way he can die. But yeah.
okay. Highlander, not the mummy. Like all of that could have been told to us earlier. A lot of the lore and all that could have been told to us earlier. And maybe that's why Annette falls under his spell so quickly because he's basically a god. Like that could maybe excuse her behavior a little bit because, he's charismatic and kind of puts her under a spell or whatever.
He's using his Dracula eyes, his Bela Lugosi eyes on her.
But I don't know, something that gives us a little more empathy for her because she does not come off well in this, I don't think.
No, she doesn't. I was surprised. Like that's why it's in
And
my
I'm like,
I'm
oh,
not
okay,
happy with. I'm disappointed in it.
we've got a woman Egyptologist, cool. And then she goes
Right.
on this long speech about how what she really wants is just to be at home and how wonderful that would be and how great it is he understands that. And her other man would have let her keep her career. And I was like, what is this? I'm like, oh my God, I might have to turn this off. It was very off-putting to me again in
It was pretty
2025.
bad. I
You
agree.
know, I thought it was like a preachy thing that they were trying to say, which I was not on board with. There are a lot of kind of preachy things in it, actually. And I think it's, how the British view the Americans is not flattering.
That's because we, kicked their ass. We might have been the only successful revolution against the British. 'Cause,
Well,
they,
it's just I think it's kind of preachy, and I prefer, like I said, the other ones where you have the love story where he comes back and he thinks he sees his love and all that. This one was just about the curse, and it didn't resonate with me. It's one of my least favorite, like I said. It
and
really
also,
took a long time to get to the good stuff.
I also wrote the ending is silly.
The very end.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
silly. And also over here on the side, I wrote, I don't like any of these mummy movies. I'm not a mummy guy, apparently. I don't
Yeah.
like the Universal original. I don't really care for any of them.
I like the Universal original more than I thought I would, but they're not my favorite.
Yeah, they're not mine either. It's
But
odd. I find it odd. Because when I was a child, I wanted to be an archaeologist, Karen.
really,
Yeah, at one point there, I wanted to do that stuff, but
that's just a lot of sweating in the hot sun.
it
I
is.
was I was in, I think, Greece, and we went to a museum, and there were all these tiny pieces of pottery. And I was in grad school at the time, and I was like, that little piece of pottery, someone spent like 2 years. That's their thesis right there. Because all you do with the little brush, first you take, then you take the little brushes. I'm like, I do not have the patience for that. More power to you if you thought you even did, but no way.
Yeah,
I would just chip that damn thing out of there and
it
go here.
probably goes to my desire for a metal detector as well. I really want a metal detector.
You
I
want
might buy
treasure.
myself one now.
You just want treasure now. You didn't want to sit there and brush off the dirt of a tiny little pot. You wanted to find the gold.
No, I wouldn't have done that. I would have brushed it off. Yep. Sometimes it's the thrill of the chase, Karen. All
Ugh.
right. Anything else, Karen?
No. You got anything else?
I don't think so, but we'll see. Stay tuned, boys and girls. While we're going through it scene by scene, I may expound on some things.
One can only hope.
All right, Karen, what kind of cocktail rating you want to give this film?
I think it's a 4.
Really?
I didn't like it. I didn't like the characters. I didn't like the
Well,
story.
all right, I'll go with it because I've already admitted to that I hate all mummy movies.
Well, it's
And this is not an especially good one. So
no, I think this is probably the worst one we've seen. That's my
it looked good though. The
sure.
mummy looked good, breaking into
Oh,
the
the
windows
mummy,
and all
sure.
that stuff.
Yeah. He breaks a lot of glass
And
doors, the mummy.
while I was watching this, I was thinking, well, that's why I will never have a bedroom with an outside door
Yes.
going to it,
I had one in California. It made me
going to
very
a
uncomfortable.
veranda or whatever
Yeah.
you have.
Between the Frankenstein movies and the Mummy movies, definitely. Or in the Dracula ones,
Yeah, they all do
definitely.
it.
You
They
don't
all
need
come
that.
in.
Nope.
All right, 4 cocktails.
Do you have a review from the Times?
I do, Karen. Would you like to hear it?
I would love to hear it. Is it going to prove us wrong?
I don't know, Karen. We will find out together. But
Okay.
first, I have to tell you, this has a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb, a 27% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
This one's crazy. So, what do you think the Google users say, Karen?
See, Google users usually like these old ones. So I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to say 85%.
Oh, 86, Karen.
Are you serious?
Yes. You didn't cheat, did you?
No, I should get that one.
I'm going to give you that one.
They just, Google users always pump up these old ones. You know, they're always like 83, 88. I almost said 88,
Well, then you would have been over.
but it's not that good. So I couldn't go
It's
that
not.
high.
But again, it looks good.
No. Well, when I cheat, I tell you I cheat. So I deserve that one.
All right. Giving it to you. The review I have is from Variety. They did 12/31/63, as they all are from the archives. They did the year before they were released on New Year's Eve for some reason. And it's a Variety review, so I'm sure it's shit. But here it goes. Only one I could find from the time. It needs a crystal ball to sort out the reasons for some of the contrived goings on in this modest and rather slapdash horror pick. But it doesn't need a soothsayer to guess early the identity of the heavy.
Really?
That's what
Well, he's
that's
the
what Variety
heavy.
says, Karen.
I'm not saying he's the bad guy, definitely, but you don't know the twist.
You don't know that twist, no. Plot hinges around the discovery of an ancient tomb in the Egyptian desert with a curse on anybody who opens it. Leader of the expedition intends giving the archaeological discoveries to the Egyptian government for its national museum, but the expedition's smooth backer, a slick talking American showman, sees it as a coast to coast peep show.
See, the funny thing is, the British were going to give it to the Cairo Museum.
Yeah,
That
no, they weren't.
no, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. They kind of made themselves look good in here. They were going to do that, but the American made them take it out of the country.
Yes. They were going to put it in a London museum somewhere, is what they were going to do.
Yes, 100%.
All right. Murder and mayhem begins its gory trail, and the motivation comes from a plausible stranger, Terrence Morgan, who turns out to be a murderous descendant of the ancient Egyptian dynasty. Well, there you go. Thank you for ruining it for everyone, Variety. Morgan performs smoothly enough as the villain, but is too patently up to no good from the start. I could kind of see that.
Yeah.
Ronald Howard, Jack Gwillem, and George Pastel are among those who provide sound support, but the liveliest performance comes from Fred Clark. And Fred Clark played the American, the
He is
P.T.
lively.
Barnum character.
He's very lively. That's a good way to describe him.
Yes, he is. I like him. That guy has a good time. I want to hang with that guy, Karen. So there you go.
They didn't even mention the girl.
Not at all.
No.
Didn't even her name. It's a Hammer film, Karen. That's the one Hammer thing it did not have.
There's some belly dancers in
Did
there.
not have a Hammer glamour girl. Yeah, but there are no.
It was
Hammer
funny
glamour
because
girls, I'm sure
they lingered on the belly dancer and stuff. And I'm like, well, there's the Hammer stuff. They lingered way longer than necessary. But I was like,
pulling out my Hammer glamour book, Karen.
I don't think they didn't
I'm going to
really
look up
show Annette.
Curse of the Mummy's Tomb and see if there's a Hammer glamour girl in it.
The character's name is Annette,
Nope.
which is my mom's name. And it's not a common name. So it was interesting to hear it in a film.
Film is not mentioned in the Hammer glamour book. I mean, she was fine, but
they wasted her. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could have had a much better role.
All right. Before we get into this film scene by scene, Karen, do you want to tell everyone what film you've chosen for us next week?
We are going to watch a movie from 2021 called Red Snow.
Is there any reason you chose this film, Karen? Or is it because we have lots of snow on the ground right now where we live?
Well, that might have influenced me subconsciously. It's a Christmas film. I found it.
And I almost broke my neck shoveling my driveway.
Did you fall on your ass?
No, I did not. Almost, Karen. Almost.
Your life flashes before your eyes. Trust me.
Yes. But fortunately, my gift of a wife was out there shoveling with me. I'm sure she would have eventually seen me on the ground and called 911.
That's nice of her to be out there with you. She really is a gift. You're so lucky.
Well, it's the first time she's ever done it. I was shocked. But yeah, she is a gift. So just a Christmassy film? Is that what
It's just a Christmassy film.
Do we have a cocktail to help us enjoy this film?
We do, and it probably has nothing to do with the film, but it sounds delicious. And it's called Let It Snow Teeny. And you're going to like this, Greg. You're going to need 1 ounce of vodka, 1 ounce of amaretto, 1 ounce of heavy cream.
Go on.
And nutmeg.
I'm all in.
I know, right? It sounds great. Put several ice cubes in a shaker, add the vodka, amaretto, and cream, and shake vigorously. Pour into a martini glass and garnish with grated nutmeg.
I'm probably going to need more amaretto.
Aw. I think there's a creamy amaretto. Maybe you can just buy that.
Yes, there is, Karen. Well, why not get regular and the creamy, Karen?
Well, but I figure it's called red snow. There's got to be snow in it. I don't know if it actually snows, but
Okay.
it's about a,
Oh, so you did do some research.
well, yeah, I did a little. It's about a writer who writes vampire romance or something, and then a vampire
During
shows up
Christmas?
at Lake Tahoe at Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, so it is a Christmas film.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
I read the summary, Greg.
Cool. My next film may be a Christmas film too. Ooh, we'll see.
We're getting so festive around here. It's ridiculous.
I'm wearing another Krampus shirt, Karen.
Nice.
2 weeks in a row. Getting them all in during the festive season. All right, Karen, are you ready to get into the scene by scene?
Yes, let's go.
All right. Curse of the Mummy's Tomb from 1964. It was originally rated X, Karen, in England.
Well, before we even start, do you want to talk about Egyptian tomb warnings after I say I watched this on archive.com or archive.org? Where did you watch it?
YouTube.
Okay. But we're going to talk about tomb warnings, which we probably have before in another mummy movie, but Egyptian tomb warnings were inscriptions intended to deter tomb robbers by invoking divine punishment or threatening death by wild animals like snakes, crocodiles, or lions. The modern concept of the pharaoh's curse, popularized by the discovery of King Tut's tomb, is largely a myth fueled by media coverage of deaths that followed rather than a supernatural force.
But all the deaths did follow. But go
However, however, exposure to pathogens like ancient bacteria, molds, and toxins, along with potential radiation, may have contributed to illness and death among those who entered the sealed tombs.
True.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck around with that stuff.
So rated X originally in England, but in 2006 they changed it to 12. Yeah.
I think you might be able to go to 10 on this one.
No, there was no American rating. It was just approved, whatever the hell that means. And the warnings that you have if you watch it on Amazon is violence, alcohol use, smoking, and foul language.
Really?
Yeah. I get everything but the foul language.
Sometimes I think I don't even notice the foul language.
That's
just
true.
like conversational to me.
Yes, indeed. So where did you watch this, Karen?
Archive.org.
I watched it on YouTube. It is available on Amazon Prime as well, but you have to rent it. You know, we're poor, elderly people.
We're cheap, that's for sure.
Then we have credits, and then we have they're opening a sealed door, and right here I was like, okay, is this a door to a storage unit? I'm not going to mention it because maybe it is, but they're looking around all these Egyptian
It's so bad.
artifacts. Right. I didn't know it was a tomb at this point because it's part of the credits. Really.
But you notice the doors right away. If you
Yes.
guys watch this, they stand out like a sore thumb. I mean, it's just bad.
Like I
The
know
art
the whole
department
thing.
in there. Like,
know
zhuzh
the-
them up.
I know the whole thing about breaking the seal to the doors, right? We've seen it,
Hmm.
but they were never doors like this.
No, they're just get some art students in there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. Finger painting the gold paint that you just sprayed over the door. Make some designs or something. But anyway, we eventually see a sarcophagus. And I thought the sarcophagus looked good.
it did.
And then we have words to read Egypt in the year 1900. And I just wrote natives kill an old man and chop off his hand.
His left hand, yeah.
And
So
then I
three men approach on horseback in the desert. It's kind of cool shot.
They're like racing. I thought they
Yeah.
were racing or something.
They're coming towards him, and he's tied up to two whipping posts, basically.
in the ground,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so they take care of him.
I wrote 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Our first kill,
Yes.
basically. Probably a little earlier than that, but that's when I made a note. And then we cut to who I already know is Annette, worried about her father, who is the guy we just saw killed. He's late.
She's
And
worried, yeah.
she's worried, talking to her fiance or boyfriend, whatever the hell he is, John. And then they have a little kiss. Just a little
He
kiss.
kind of makes her laugh. He says, "Oh, maybe your dad found a woman in the desert." Because, they're all around out there in the desert looking for old guys. And, but she's like, "Oh, yeah." And then they kissy face.
Just a kiss. But
But at first I thought it was a big tent, but it's a building, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And so they have a big dinner set up in front of them and
Waiting
candles.
for her
And
dad. Yeah.
yeah.
And then men arrive with the body of her father, Professor Dubois. And then John has words with the men. They argue about something.
Yeah, he's really mean to them right off the bat. All they did was bring the body. It's like, what's his problem? But a big wind comes in right before they enter, and all the candles go out. That's kind of a nice effect. And then they bring him in, and basically they just dump the body in there. They really just drop it. It was kind of amusing in a kind of morbid way. But then John's getting all over them, and that I was like, what's the deal?
But then Sir Giles comes in and says, "That's it, we're leaving. We're going back to London." And then John and the men who brought the body in argue about the curse.
Yeah, John doesn't believe it.
Annette screams. She found the hand of her father and the bloody knife, apparently. I assume it's her father's hand.
Yeah, I think it's a warning.
All right. So then we see him lowering the sarcophagus into a box, a crate, really. They're for a shipping crate. And then I wrote, "Ooh, that's Michael Ripper as an Egyptian servant."
I did not know
He
that.
does have a speaking line, and he has a credit. He's sitting on top of like the cabinet or the wardrobe or wherever the hell it is, eating something.
So they're loading up all the treasure because they got to get it to London. And there's a list of everything they're making a list of everything they found and what boxes they're going in and everything. There was a lot of stuff in the tombs. So they're taking all of it out, boxing it up, and getting ready to load it.
And then I wrote, Hajmi Bey comes in and tells them that Alexander King is there to see them.
I don't know who that is, but
The
a
Egyptian
servant.
dude.
Yeah, he comes in to say, "Mr. King is here, your
Well, is it the
benefactor."
Egyptian dude we see at the end, or is it this a different one?
Oh, I think it's the same one
Okay, yeah.
who goes through the whole film.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, you're already halfway through the podcast. What do you think? If you like what you hear, can you take a minute and follow us on social media? At Scary Spirits Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thanks so much for listening. Now let's get back to the show.
So then Alexander King comes in and Hashmi Bey, they talk about that Egypt, I guess, will give them 70,000 pounds for the artifacts.
So I said, to put it in the Cairo Museum, I said, "Oh, so I guess they're not stealing everything."
But
I don't know. I didn't look up 70,000 pounds. Did
I
you?
did not either. But Alexander thinks he can make a lot more of that touring the world and selling tickets to people to see the artifacts.
So Alexander King,
The American.
yes, funded the dig. So
He did.
he is, I guess,
He's the beneficiary.
so he gets the loot.
He does.
It's his. So the Cairo Museum wanted to buy it from him, but he says, "No, we're going to take it on the road."
Sir Giles is not happy, I wrote. So then
And the Alexander King goes on this, "Well, we're not going to put it in some stuffy old museum. I'm going to educate the populace."
yes, he
10
talks about
cents
how
at a
he was
time.
there when they opened the tomb and he wants to show the artifacts to the world and teach them. And
A dime at a time, 10 cents at a time.
yes. And Sir Giles threatens to quit.
It's a cute monkey in the scene, too, that they pass around. And something about Turkish delight candy, which I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes. Then Alexander comes in, tells Annette and John that they are all going to London, and John is going to be in charge from now on, apparently.
Well, because Giles wants nothing to do with it. It's somehow beneath him that this is going to happen. He thinks that of course, he thinks everything should go into the Cairo Museum. He's appalled that they would do this, take artifacts out of Egypt. So he's not in charge anymore. And he says to John, it's all yours now. Go ahead.
Then we have finger symbols and a belly dancer, Karen.
Yes, because Annette and John and Mr. King
Alexander, yes.
Are all out to dinner.
And we're having drinks, Karen. Once again, he emphasizes it's 1900. We need to think about the future. We need to be now. We need to be the current thing, whatever.
Yeah, they talk about what they're going to do.
He wants to keep it modern. Again, they discuss the curse that anyone who opens the tomb will be doomed to die horribly. And Alexander thinks it's a great idea that he can promote.
Yes.
So then a man comes in and tells John that Sir Giles is wanting to see him.
Immediately.
They all go, and Alexander tips the belly dancer.
He sticks his card in her bikini bottom.
I think it was cash, Karen. I think it was rolled up.
No, because he says he wants her to come along, so he sticks his card in her bikini bottom. And I say, we linger way too long on her back, but whatever.
So then
this is Hammer.
We're in the room where the artifacts have been stored, and apparently it's been ransacked. Thieves broke in or whatever.
And but they didn't take gold or jewels.
No. And then I wrote, men in fezzes, the hats, the fez.
Mm-hmm.
Find the body of Michael Ripper. He's the dead dude in the thing they find, the crate. And are the thieves after a list of the artifacts?
Well, that's all they took was the list that they can tell, because somebody wants to know what was in the tomb. So the list has every artifact they found. Got
it. Then we cut to John and Annette on a boat. Annette is worried about the mummy already. John tries to be romantic and they kissy face. They seem very much in love, Karen, on the boat.
Yeah, they do. At least right now on the boat.
Sir Giles interrupts them. He seems drunk.
Yeah.
Apparently he's been barred from excavating in Egypt.
Yes, because of what's come of what he's discovered. He's not allowed there to go in anymore. And it's very upsetting to him. He's an Egyptologist. So what's he going to do? So he is drunk. It's just like they told you wouldn't be allowed to do anything with computers anymore, Greg, if that was your whole life. I know. I mean, he's older. You'd think, okay, let's retire. It's cool. But no, he's upset by it.
So he stumbles off. John goes in to check on him, finds him unconscious in his room. Well, he hears a noise, right?
Yeah, I think somebody attacks him. I
wouldn't call it a scream. I would call it a, ah!
Yeah, he gets attacked.
So John checks on Sir Giles, and as he's bent over, someone hits John in the head. The guy who hits him runs out and runs into Annette. And then a guy comes in who we learn is Adam, and he knocks the shit out of the bad guy and makes him go overboard.
Yes. Flips him over.
Kicks his ass.
They're all very fancily dressed, too.
Well,
they're in tuxes and ball gowns on the boat.
So then we see Adam and Annette having drinks on the ship.
Yeah, John was knocked out. She doesn't know where John is.
He does. She doesn't.
And she's just
drinks with.
She's just sitting there. I was like, who? At first, I thought it was John. I'm like, wow, they're really calm after someone got attacked. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think that's John.
No, it's Adam.
It's not. John's lying on a floor somewhere, but she's having a nice drink with Adam.
John comes in then, and then Annette introduces him to Adam. Annette tries to tell Adam about what she and John have been doing, but apparently he already knows, Karen.
And he's just like, I just find you people so fascinating. When you get to London, stay at my house.
Yeah, stay at my house. Yep.
And John is like pushing hard. No, we have plans. no, 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 we can't switch our plans. And Annette's like, okay,
So then we
she's
cut
all
to
in.
then we cut to Adam's house, and they're drinking hot toddies out of a big silver bowl, Karen.
Yeah.
Oh,
You need to get yourself a punch bowl, make hot toddies in it.
and right here I wrote missed opportunity.
Yes.
Missed opportunity. I could have picked a hot toddy. So then Annette admires some of Adam's trinkets I wrote in his house. And Adam gives her a valuable trinket, apparently.
Priceless.
I wrote, he's trying to move in on John's girl. I don't like
Yeah.
this already.
And she's not resistant.
She's not. If I were
Not
John,
resistant enough.
I'd be over it right now.
And John sees what's happening. We can tell he's noticing.
Yeah. So then they invite, or I guess Annette invites Adam to go with them later to where the artifacts are being viewed, apparently. And then Adam proposes a toast. So then we have comic relief around the artifacts I wrote. I didn't make note, but all of like the little helper people are like being stupid. Then we see panels of twins being born. And I think these props are pretty good, I think.
The panels are pretty good. So John's off doing John things, and that leaves Annette and Adam alone. And so she's going to tell him the story.
John leaves Annette and Adam a lot alone.
I know. And he sees what's going on.
He makes it obvious that he knows what's going to happen when he leaves.
Right. But, if someone doesn't want to be with you, they don't want to be with you.
Right.
So the tomb that they're uncovered, I looked it up. I wanted to see if they were using like real names or something. The tomb uncovered in the Hammer film, The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, belongs to the Egyptian prince Ra-Antoph, son of Ramses VIII. His mummy is brought to London for exhibition, but the character is described it's fiction. And he was an ancient prince who was murdered by his brother and whose mummified body was later discovered by the archaeologist. So it is not a real...
Yeah, so the backstory is false, right? He was not murdered by his brother.
The name is false, too.
Oh, it's all false?
I think so.
Okay. So they look at the panels, and Annette is telling Adam, I guess, what they mean. But I'm pretty sure he knows what it means.
Well, I didn't know it at the time, but he most certainly does.
But does she refer to the twins being born as A and B?
Ra and B.
Ra and B. Okay. So Ra was very popular and a doctor or something, I wrote.
He was a thinker and,
philosopher.
A gentleman.
Right. So B was jealous.
And B was not. B only wanted, because she's saying only wanted to have pleasures of the body and things like that.
But apparently B was his father's favorite.
No, Ra was his father's favorite.
Oh, okay. So he banished Ra?
Well, B was jealous, according to what she said. And so he convinced the populace that Ra was a witch.
Okay.
And because the people started to revolt, the father had to banish Ra.
Okay.
It was all because B was jealous of Ra. So he started vicious rumors and got rid of Ra. And Ra went off into the desert.
And then we see Ra being asked to be a king from some desert people, right?
Because he was so charismatic and so wonderful that the tribe that who welcomed him when he was alone in the desert with his few followers that left with him, they wanted him to be their king because he was so impressive.
As soon as he is crowned king, he decides he's going to go back to Egypt and show them, hey, now what, bitch? Right?
Pretty much.
Basically.
But right as he's praying to Bastet, which...
Baphomet?
Well, there's... Yes. Ubasti is what she says.
It's not...
But Bubastis, Bastet...
Baphomet. That's what
no,
I'm say. Baphomet.
But it's the cat goddess.
The big goat head guy.
No.
Okay.
She's the one that an Egyptian goddess was the cat goddess. Initially a fierce lioness deity who evolved into goddess of pleasure, fertility, and home. She's depicted as a woman with a cat's head or a domestic cat and was associated with music, dance, and protection. It says particularly for women and children. So I don't know why they chose this as his kind of protector, but I think it's because it's one of the more well-known deities of Egypt.
Because she's a crazy cat lady.
Literally.
But his brother
Got wind of his plans.
B sent
Yeah.
people to kill him,
Yeah.
and they cut off his left hand.
And they killed him.
And they take it back to B as proof because it's got his like royal ring.
Rings on it. Yeah. Don't wear your royal rings. So you have to tell him that the tribe loved this guy so much, Ra, that they gave him this medallion.
Yes.
And the medallion had the spell or whatever to bring people back from the dead. So he was wearing that.
And Adam knows that, and he seems very interested. He wants to know all about the medallion. What about the medallion?
Was it found in there? And I'm like, he's getting very excited. He wants that medallion.
He does. So then they go to
Like
see
he
the
gets
artifact.
forceful though. Like he
does.
Yeah, I said he's feisty and rather mean.
So I wrote they go to see the artifact, but it's really kind of like a dress rehearsal of what Alexander's going to do on stage for people who pay money. And he's invited select members of the press and people who are involved in the excavation and what. They open the sarcophagus and some of the workers run away. And they all look at the mummy, and Alexander says he's worth 10 cents of everyone's money.
Yes. It's a dry run. The press isn't there yet. They come in a little bit. It's just the people who unpacked it and stuff.
Oh, I thought the press were there then.
It's later, I think.
Okay. So then we see Adam's butler and maid have words. There's a lot of these things in here that I think aren't needed, like the comic relief from the workers and this stuff. Then we cut to Annette and Adam having drinks again. I think they're drinking brandy here, though, Karen.
Yes.
Annette gives her elevator pitch. She was her father's assistant. Adam tries to romance Annette.
Well, she says she was a great disappointment to her father because he says, why didn't he take you on his digs? And she said, I was a great disappointment. He always wanted a son. But she says, in order to get his love, I studied twice as hard as any son would so that she could talk to him. He was delighted at her knowledge. She became his assistant. They toast to the future. And then this is where she gives her spiel. Well, he says, you shouldn't just use your intelligence only for academic pursuits. And I was like, oh, no, here we go. And then she goes, oh, Adam, you just understand me. John would just accept me as a career woman, but I just really want a home. I wish people would understand that. I'm like, okay.
So I wrote, I think they drink brandy. They talk about John. Annette is not sure she will marry him. And then Adam moves in for the kill. That's what I wrote. And pretty much what you just described. Much better than I. But then John enters, and I wrote, awkward.
Yes.
Adam gets him a brandy. And then John notices the amulet that Annette is wearing around her neck.
I couldn't tell if she was wearing it or it was in her purse.
I don't know, but Adam very much wants to see it when John finds it.
And John is pretty convinced that her father stole it from the tomb, but she's like, he would never. Like, that's like amoral or something. Like, that's something you just don't do. You don't take something personally for yourself.
And this part I went and rewound several times because I wasn't sure what was going on exactly. But Adam seems to know a lot about it. Adam, I wrote, does not believe it's from the tomb, ?
He's trying to I could tell here that Adam's trying to make John think it's not from the tomb.
Okay.
While Adam does know it is from the tomb. He's like, oh, these hieroglyphics are 2,000 years different from the tomb. And John's like, it looks good to me. Because Annette is offended that John would think that her father would have taken something from the tomb. That's apparently, like I said, something you just don't do.
So Adam is trying to convince them it's not from the tomb, but John is saying, yeah, it is.
He thinks it
Okay.
is.
All right, that's what I have.
And they're kind of arguing about it. And I'm like, just whip it out. Whip them out, boys. Because they're going back and forth, But John's like, nah, it looks pretty good to me. And Adam's like, no, you're wrong. Well, let's, let an expert look at it or something.
Yes.
Adam's trying to buy time.
John wants Sir Giles to see it because he's the only one he believes would really know. He excuses himself, leaving Adam and Annette alone.
Again.
And from his expressions that he knows what he's doing is not good for him and Annette, you would think. But it really doesn't matter in the end, does it?
He should have just said, Annette, come with me. But he doesn't.
I'm not sure she would have.
That's true. I mean, she has free will. I'm not saying that. But he doesn't try to stop it ever. He just lets it happen.
So then we see John and Sir Giles discussing Alexander. Sir Giles getting drunk. I like Sir Giles.
Was this where we see him looking through? There's a shot through the magnifying glass of the medallion, and then there's a shot of his eye.
It comes up later. I wrote John is not happy. Sir Giles leaves because
he's drunk. Oh, because he spills
pissed him off, and he spilled something on the desk or whatever.
He calls him a drunken old man.
Yeah. So then John looks at Sir Giles' notes. And then he takes out his magnifying glass and examines the amulet.
It's a cool shot, though, because we see it.
And I wrote, thunder?
Yes.
Nice shot.
It's raining outside.
But then, Karen, the outside doors to the room open.
If you're going to have those kind of doors, lock them at least.
Whoever enters hides from John. John knocks a book off the desk, and as he's going down to retrieve it, the intruder hits him on the back of the head, knocking him out, and takes the amulet.
See, he wouldn't be allowed to play football because he's been concussed twice now.
And then I wrote, his cape flowing as he walks away.
Yes.
So then we see Ajmi Bey wanting Alexander to send the artifacts back to Egypt. He has a cash offer. I guess we're talking more about the Cairo Museum or some shit. I don't know. Alexander refuses. Alexander talks to Adam and Annette I guess this is like when the press are there, right?
Yeah, this is the unveiling for the press.
Adam is smoking a cigarello.
Yes.
I think they're having drinks too, aren't they?
I don't know, but
Alexander wants to get the show on the road, though.
He wants to know where John is too, and Annette's like, I couldn't make it. He's not allowed to. He's still lying in bed, unconscious. Basically, she says, but I'm here with Adam. We're going to help you.
So then he starts the special preview for the press. Alexander recognizes Sir Giles and other members of the expedition. He has
He's doing a presentation.
Up there. A slideshow. It's not a PowerPoint, Karen. It's a slideshow.
It is.
Black and white slides.
Well, but there's video on it, too.
Black and white slides, Karen.
Yes.
1900.
Right.
Doing a slideshow of the expedition. And then introduces all the players. And then we have a flashback to when they open the tomb, which I think is video he is showing.
It's like they whipped out the VCR.
But is it in brilliant Technicolor, Karen?
It is.
So that's what I'm talking about, historical error.
But I don't know if that was actually on the slideshow or just his memory of it.
You said it. They show a video is what you said.
Well, I know, but I don't know if we see a video. But is it... And I was laughing because it's like, oh, he got his VHS, his camcorder out in there.
Yeah.
But it could have been just his memory.
His cell phone video.
Yeah.
And then again, I wrote, because we're watching this flashback to when they open the tomb, very modern doors. I, again, noted the
doors are awful. But they say Anubis is there to greet them. Anubis is the ancient Egyptian jackal-headed god associated with mummification, the afterlife, and grave protection. He was believed to guide souls to the underworld, preside over the weighing of the heart ceremony, which determines a soul's fate. His image is often depicted as a man with the head of a jackal, representing the wild dogs and jackals that scavenged near cemeteries. Well, that's a little brutal, but yeah. So we see that. And then we see all the artifacts, or a lot of them, from the tomb.
And this is basically the scene from the opening credits.
Yes.
Seeing it again. So then they enter the inner tomb. Again, it's got bad doors.
God, terrible.
And then Alexander warns everyone there about the curse.
Yes. So, well, he warns them at the beginning. Oh, no, right before he's going to open the mummy, he says, if any of you are weak or afraid, you can leave now before we open the sarcophagus.
Because he says the curse is anyone who gazes upon the face of the mummy will die. And he says, I'm going to open it for the first time.
Yes.
And he offers to let the people leave if they like. And then the band plays, the lights go out. Everyone's startled. There's a spotlight on the sarcophagus and Alexander.
See, this is the first time we see the mummy. It's 50 minutes in.
Okay. He's going to cut the royal seal for the first time, Karen. I wrote
the belly dancer gives him the knife to cut the seal.
Oh, was it the belly dancer?
Yeah, she came over and.
Well, good for her. They removed the sarcophagus top and the mummy is missing, Karen.
There's a gasp.
Oh my God. Great Scott.
Oh, I looked up what Great Scott came from. Dang it, and I don't have the paper. Because they say that a lot.
I think this is the first time he says it.
Yes, but he says it often.
So then we see the police asking who would want to steal the mummy. Alexander pushes blame onto Hashmi Bey and Sir Giles.
Because they want the mummy back in their own country.
But Inspector says, yep, that's enough for tonight. Let's all go home. Alexander is very upset. He is afraid the mummy will be shipped out of the country before they can find it.
But then the comic relief dudes are like, do you really think the mummy came to life? And Alexander just gets a big light bulb over his head. And it's like, that's perfect. He's going to start marketing that now.
Then everyone leaves. John enters. John tells Alexander that he believes the mummy may have been stolen to be brung back to life. Alexander thinks he's nuts. So
because he's like,
John figures
because he
everything's out pretty quick, I think.
But Alexander's like, that was quite the knock on your head, boy. You think that's what happened?
He says, yep, nope, I'm gonna go ahead and walk home.
His hours are numbered.
He says, the air will do me good.
Yes, Alexander.
So then we see him walking through the fog. He's propositioned by a lady, Karen.
Yeah, and he seems like he gives her money anyway and says, go home and go
gives
get
the
some
girl
sleep.
money and says, thanks, but no thanks. Whatever, take the night off. I don't know. He continues walking up the stairs, the brick stairs there. And the mummy comes in, grabs him by the throat, and tosses him down the stairs into the water. And I wrote the life preserver on the wall there says, Port of London Authority.
There are some brutal kills in this. I will say that. We don't see them, but they are implied. This one's not one, but the next two I think are pretty gruesome. And now they would show them. In this, if it was made today, we'd see them.
Then we see John entering a boarding house, apparently, and he pays a woman to know where Hashmi Bey is staying, what room he's in. She tells John where he is. John breaks into his room and he begins searching it. There's a taxidermy owl jump scare, I think.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a jump scare. And then as John is searching his wardrobe, Hashmi Bey enters and begins questioning John. Cut to Sir Giles having brandy, Karen. He finds a piece of paper on the floor with hieroglyphics on it, ? I wrote. And he says, Great Scott. It's the sacred words of life, Karen. Dogs bark outside. Mummy breaks through the exterior door once again to the room, like the glass French door going out to the outside.
Everyone has them.
Well, apparently. Mummy breaks through it and he enters the room. I wrote, Sir Giles shoots it many, 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 many times with a revolver. I think he spends more than his allotment of bullets. Mummy grabs Sir Giles by the neck and beats him in the head with a blunt object. He gone.
Multiple times. It's brutal. Like, he doesn't just hit him and he's dead. He's
very slow and deliberate.
Yes, boom. He destroys his head.
All right, so then we cut to John, back to John and Hashmi Bey, and apparently they're now buddy-buddy. John asks Hashmi Bey to go to the police with him. And I wrote, I guess they're going to talk about bringing the mummy back from the dead, question mark. I don't know, because now John has someone who believes him. Then we cut to Adam reading poetry to Annette. Karen.
Yes. Do you know who wrote that poetry?
Hell no.
The line, "How do I love thee? Let me count the
Let me
waves,"
count the waves.
is from a poem by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. The line is the first of Sonnet 43, one of the most famous love poems in the English language, which expresses the profound and total nature of her love for her husband, Robert Browning.
Oh, he's a famous writer too, right?
It's frequently misattributed to Shakespeare, but he did not write this specific poem. And that goes on for quite a long time.
Yeah, I wrote, she seems to think he's very charming.
But
Adam,
it's like, come on, let's
he does
go.
it. Yeah, on and on and on. Then Adam tells Annette he has to leave London, but he has made arrangements for Annette and John to stay there. And Annette is like, oh no, I
can't bear it
without you.
Yes.
So she wants to go with him, and then they kissy face.
I'm like, oh, she gets to give up all her intellectual stuff. She just gets to go with him.
I don't like Annette. So then Annette writes John a Dear John letter.
Yep. It's like,
But then she hears a noise and runs out into the hall to find the mummy strangling Adam. She screams and the mummy tosses Adam away and comes after her. But then Adam jumps up and talks to the mummy in some foreign language, I wrote.
I would imagine ancient Egyptian.
I guess. The mummy approaches Annette and she faints. But then the mummy strokes her hand.
Yeah, but she was there too, but it's good to be a pretty girl.
I guess the mummy returns to face Adam and strikes him in the head, knocking him unconscious, apparently. Because there's people ringing the door and knocking at the door. Mummy walks away. Then John and Hashmi Bey run in with the police. Annette asks John what happened to Adam. She is very concerned about Adam, I wrote.
They can't understand why the mummy's going after Adam because he wasn't there. So they're thinking their theory is wrong.
Okay.
John's confused as to why the mummy would.
They're concerned about, Annette is concerned about Adam.
Overly, yes. To John's disappointment.
Annette tells the police and the inspector that the mummy was there and attacked them. Inspector agrees to give John and Hashmi Bey a second chance to prove that they are right, that the mummy is alive. John and Hashmi Bey having drinks, discussing the curse. I think they're drinking brandy again.
I will say Annette looked beautiful in her fancy nightgown.
Her fancy blue, multiple sheared layer nightgown.
Yeah, very fancy.
I was disappointed.
Well, I'm sure you were, but it was very pretty.
And then there's a noise coming from the window. Then the mummy breaks through the glass door again into the room from the outside, Karen, those glass French doors. Mummy comes in, and the inspector follows him because I guess they're staking out the place. And they drop a net on the mummy.
Not a net, the woman, a net.
Yes.
It sounded like they drop a net.
No, they drop a rope net on the mummy.
They don't drop a net.
No. Hashmi Bey tries to get them to stop, and then he kneels before the mummy and apologizes, and he wants to be punished.
And he gets his wish.
Yep.
Because a rope net is not going to stop a mummy.
Mummy breaks free from the net. He crushes the skull of Hashmi Bey with his foot and walks out. Everyone just watches him walk out.
Well, because he's not after them because they weren't at the tomb. Although John is there.
John was there.
I don't know why the mummy just leaves.
That's an inaccuracy there. But it turns out, what they think is the curse is not really the curse anyway. He's not really. But he kind of is. He will do what he wants.
But everyone he's killed was at the site.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's going to kill everyone at the site. He will do what he wants.
In his own time.
Right. Inspector sends the police officers to follow the mummy, but tells them to keep their distance.
Smart. So
John deduces that only he and Annette are the people at risk because they were the only ones there when the tomb was originally opened. We cut to Adam's house.
Yeah, we're back at Adam's house.
Annette doesn't know why Adam was attacked. And then Adam takes her to his basement, which is filled with Egyptian artifacts. It's really
To
like
his throne room,
this
his man cave.
the sewer catacombs or whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. Yes. But he
And
has a room down there, a
his
man
bat
cave.
cave.
Yes, with all his Egyptian artifacts.
Annette is very impressed. And I wrote right here, ooh, is this the Batman moment? And I think it is, Karen. This is when Adam comes clean that he's been cursed to everlasting life unless he would die by the hand of his own brother. And
Yes, he
he's
says,
the twin brother of the mummy, question mark, I wrote.
yes. So when Ramses heard of the death of his favorite son, he called for the person who had been truly responsible for the killing and cursed him to live forever, have everlasting life, unless he could die by the hand of his own brother. And he says, because I am that person, B, younger son of Ramesses the Eighth, cursed to eternal wanderings. He can never die. The only person who can release him from the curse was rendered useless until now. Now we can die together.
And so Adam wants to die.
Yeah, he's
And
sick of wandering the earth.
he's telling Annette they will be together because the mummy will kill them both.
Isn't that great? He's like,
Yeah.
and he doesn't understand why she's not all in. But I wonder how many years would it take you to be sick of living?
A very long time, Karen, for me.
Well, but could you have to be able to be alone because you're going to lose all your family and friends.
I'm an only child, Karen. It's not a problem for me.
But it's just interesting because when you read, about there's always the old vampires just want to die. They're done.
I don't think I would, Karen.
But he's ready to go after 3,000 years. And he's like, you can come with me. But he gives her no time to think. He's like, okay,
Let's go.
like she's going to go, okay, let's go.
So then Adam forces Annette to recite some incantation or curse or some shit here.
He's like, say it.
He commands the mummy to awake, and Adam commands the mummy to kill Annette. She is the last of the desecrators. But then there's banging on the door. Then Annette yells for John. She wants John now.
Yeah, now.
But Adam and the mummy take Annette away.
I'm like, where are they? Is it the sewer system? What?
There's catacombs of his palatial estate, I guess.
It's weird.
They go through a door, but the police follow, and Adam's hand is severed in the door by the inspector because he's trying to hold it open.
Yeah, they slam the door on his hand, and his hand falls off. And the mummy's carrying the girl.
They walk through the sewers in Adam's basement. That's what I wrote. The mummy carries Annette.
I said, that's a good boob shot there,
Well,
the way the mummy's carrying Annette.
I wrote, looks like she's about to fall out of her gown.
Yeah.
So then Annette asks for help.
She wants to live. I want to live.
Adam tells her not to fear death. And he does a whole big soliloquy here, but I basically wrote, he's talking about the evil that men do.
Yes. And that's why he's ready to go. But he's had 3,000 years. What has she had? 23 years?
And that's an Iron Maiden song, boys and girls. Adam wants to die. So then the mummy rips the amulet from Annette's neck. Adam tells the mummy to kill her. Mummy refuses. Adam tries to stab Annette, and the mummy stops him. And then the mummy holds Adam under the water until he drowns, until he is dead. He is gone.
Because he's holding the knife, and then he drops the knife when he dies.
Mummy exits the catacombs. He does
Slowly.
turn and take one last look at Annette.
And she's lit beautifully in that shot. She looks it's the lighting, everything. She kind of glows there. It's a nice shot too.
The tears glistening on her cheeks.
But the mummy's walking away slowly.
Mummy walks into another room, and then he reaches up to the ceiling and apparently forces a cave in.
Like a trapdoor opens or something, and all this.
He is covered in bricks and rocks and stones and whatnot.
And that's the end.
And then Annette is rescued. We hear the voices of the police. I think they drop a rope down or some shit. I don't know. And then There are words that say, rest, my father, rest. Anything you need to tell us about those words, Karen?
Nope.
All right. Credits, the end. All right, Karen, what did you think of the Mummies Night Out?
It's good.
It's not 2 cocktails. It's 1 cocktail.
No, it's definitely one. Betty
Mine-
Crocker she's a lightweight.
Yeah, mine evaporated a long time ago, Karen.
She's a woman after my own heart, Betty.
Is she?
Well, because that's enough for me.
Really?
You know, a little dainty drink. Of course, I'm delightful. I'm delicate like a flower. I can't be drinking that much. I have to have a little
It's like a
dainty
shot.
drink.
It was ended up like being like a shot.
But it's like a dainty drink. It's for mummies and their night out. They have to be careful when they're out.
But there's safety in numbers. It's mummies. Well, it's not plural. It's apostrophes. Maybe not. But it makes 2 cocktails, and you said mummies last week never go out together. Mommies never go out, or they always go out.
Go out
with
together,
the girl,
yeah.
Mommies never go out alone.
Well, I'm sure they do when they need to decompress, but it's nice to have another mommy along with you.
All right, anything we learned today, Karen?
A couple of Egyptian gods, about the mummy's curse, about How Do I Love Thee poem.
Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
Yes. Is that it? Because the cats are sitting on all my stuff, so I don't know.
So I wrote Ra Antoff or whatever.
Oh,
it is.
it's a fictional character.
Fictional. Yeah, that's what that says. Cat goddess.
Oh,
Crazy cat lady.
Bastet. Yeah.
Anubis.
Yep.
Jackal-headed dude. Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
And the mummy's curse at the beginning. Yeah. And you got an Iron Maiden song reference in there.
Evil that men do. All right. Anyone you need to thank this week, Karen?
Well, we should thank our listeners, those that survived Krampus anyway. There's a lot of podcasts out there. Thank you for spending time with us. What about you, Greg? Who do you need to thank?
First, I want to say I feel sorry for those listeners that survived Krampus.
Why? That's us.
Because apparently they aren't living.
We need to live more.
And
Krampus would understand us if we did that. It's okay. He'd still leave us alone.
And the band Verse 13 for providing all of the music in the Scary Spirits podcast.
The music definitely makes the podcast better. And you know, if you are interested in learning about Krampus, we do have an episode about him with a semi-expert, I would say.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
Yeah.
A guy from the Krampus Society.
So go back and find that. It's very appropriate for this time of year.
Yeah. Hail Krampus.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but it does tell you the lore and things like that. So check it out.
All right, Karen, anything else?
Please drink responsibly.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to the Scary Spirits podcast, where the movies might be iffy, but the drinks are always solid. We would love to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast, or go to our website, scaryspirits.com. And if you want the direct line, email us at info@scaryspirits.com. If you really want to help us out, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And remember, always drink responsibly. See you next week.